Hey, good Friday morning, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torgrosa. Woohoo! We made it to Friday. Yes. All right. And hey, I'm still looking for recommendations on coffee because, as you know, I'm a brand new coffee drinker of about a year and a half now. And, people have recommended Black Rifle coffee. I want to try that. Somebody recommended another Death Wish coffee the other day. But, give me the recommendations and I'll give you a hint. It's not Starbucks. Here we go. So, three things to talk about in weather today. The snow system for this afternoon and this evening. It is still on track. It's a little bit late. I'm trying to get you up here so I can see what is going on. Okay, there we go. Good morning, Kathy McGrossen. You're the first one to join in and say hi. So, snow this afternoon, this evening, limited area, 1 inch lower than my 2 to 4 that I've been targeting for the last 5 days. So, 1 inch lower, that means it's a 1 to 3. And then a Saturday night's a little bit heavier, a little more widespread than what I've been talking about. I've been indicating maybe 1 or 2, and it might be a 2 or 3 in a lot of places. I'll show that to you. Then we're going to look toward Christmas also. So here we go. Here's the radar. The first thing that this storm system will struggle with is temperature cold enough to make snow. So at the onset, it's going to be light rain. And we go to our beloved high resolution rapid refresh model, which comes in every hour, and it's high resolution. So let's go through it. Noon, you're starting to get some rain showers in Holland and Muskegon and South Haven and maybe Kalamazoo and Battle Creek. And then 2 in the afternoon, you're starting to get some snow to mix in there and change in the southwest corner. Still dry in Detroit and Ann Arbor and uh, Saginaw Basin in the thumb and up to the north in Traverse City. And then we go to 3 in the afternoon, and you're starting to get into perhaps some snow around the Grand Rapids area. You're definitely into the snow in the Kalamazoo area. We go to 5 o'clock, and you're into some snow, Grand Rapids, maybe Lansing, definitely Kalamazoo and Coldwater. Not in Detroit yet, not in Ann Arbor, not in Saginaw, Bay City, Midland. So you got fine travels today. No problems in those places that I've talked about. And then we go to the evening, 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock, and it starts to break down. And that was the whole question mark on this system all along, 5 days out. Remember, I talked about the models showing it starting in the second half of Friday afternoon, check mark, 5 days out, and winding down sometime Friday night, check mark. But would it be midnight or a little after, or would it be 7, 8, 9 o'clock? And that's where the inch or two of snow goes. Okay. Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. By the way, 250 strong, it says on my thing here. Tom Ramsey knee replacement next Wednesday. How does it look for Freeport? Still looks warm on Wednesday, so you probably have rain showers around then. Good luck on the knee replacement. If you could hit the share button, if this is your first time joining us, this is how we do it. If you're just a what I call weekend warrior on weather and you want to know when the storms come, it's a good thing to check in with because that's what I do is I cover the storm system. So here we go through the evening hours, and then by the time we get to midnight, everything has faded away. So it's a basically it's a snow issue for the evening commute, 5 to 8 in the evening for Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, maybe Jackson, maybe Lansing, and the southwest corner. This is the total snowfall off the high resolution rapid refresh. Actually, I want to grab the latest because remember, it's a high resolution rapid refresh. So let's see here, the latest full run. And it does 1 to 2 inches around the southwest corner. It does no accumulation whatsoever in Ann Arbor or Detroit Flint, Saginaw, Bay City, the Thumb, no accumulation. North, no accumulation. So the storm system is giving the snow in the place, but it is falling apart and it's going to have a tough time accumulating because of the temperature. So here's another model that I like, and actually it's coming in also as we speak. Let's see how much we get of it. So this is the North American model, again, showing at 4 and 5 and 6 some snowy roads from Grand Rapids down I-96 toward Lansing, and then down in the southern part of the state. And then it also shows fading by midnight right there. I want to go back to its earlier run and show you then, and we jump into the Saturday night snow. So there's our Friday afternoon snow. And then we go to, this is Saturday at midnight. So a lot of things are starting to show a light snow. Now, this is a middle of the night snow. Hey, good morning, Mike Joy. And Rose Martinez, good morning to you. And Julie Messing from Deckerville, good morning. So this is a middle of the night snow Saturday night, which helps it out versus the afternoon snow. And then by Sunday morning, 8 a.m., it's pretty well gone and done. Now, the North American model, how much does it pile up? So on this one, it's saying 1 to 4 inches in the southwest corner. But again, nothing Ann Arbor, nothing Detroit, nothing Saginaw, Flint. Okay. And then we go to the Saturday night snow, and it puts an area of, let's call it 1 to 2 inches across a good part of lower Michigan, with the 2 inches through a strip through the center of the state. So I'm thinking Sunday morning's coffee is going to be a very pretty one, because I'm thinking we're going to have an inch or two of fresh, non-threatening snow on the ground, and plus it's Sunday morning, so that's always a good thing, right? All right, now let's get into what is going on for the extended term. Okay, so we've covered today's snow, Saturday night snow. Let's keep going. Sunday looks like a dry day. Monday looks like a dry day, starting to warm up a touch ahead of this next storm system. And remember, the track is everything. So me and you, we look at that big red L in the center, or when we see all the circulation lines around the storm center, that's what we track, is the storm center. If it's to our north and west, even in the middle of winter, it pulls warm air away and we get some rain out of the system. If it's to our south and east, then we're on the cold side. So look at this next storm system next week, which looks like a pretty powerful one. But, Sarah Angus has a coffee, ruse roast, lobster butter, love from Ann Arbor, best coffee hands down. Okay. Oh, now I lost my screen share. Just a second. There we go. We're back. All right. So next week, the low pressure center pulls up to our west. We get into the cold front ahead of it. That's rain showers probably. And then behind it, look at the cold air collapsing down and settling in, and we're probably in it at that point. Okay. Boy, I am having a bugger of a time with this thing. Okay, so you could see the cold air making it all the way down into northern Florida at that point. High temperatures today, we're going to be in the 30s, mid to upper 30s, and Saturday, upper 30s. Fairly consistent temperatures until we get to late next week. Maybe near 40 on Sunday, and upper 30s on Monday, and the same deal on Tuesday, upper 30s, and Wednesday starting to warm a touch, maybe some 40s, and Thursday, maybe some 40s. And Friday, Saturday of next week, and Sunday of next week. So the cold air is still having a difficult time wholeheartedly coming down. All right, now this is getting into the deeper stuff for you. This is the stuff that if you're just joining us, you don't get on other places, okay? So what we're going to look at here is we're going to look at the surface temperature anomaly. So when you see blue or green, you know it's colder than normal. When you see red, you know it's orange and red, you know it's warmer than normal. We're going to look at the European, we're going to look at the US model, we're going to look at them in the ensemble mode, which means they run about 30 different little starting point changes on a model, and then they run it and then they average them all. That way, if the one run that we normally take as the best has a little fluke in it, it's taken out by the average. So what you're going to see is that as we head to the end of December, a large cold air mass is going to settle into the western part of the country and bleed toward us. And so the extreme cold looks like, at least into December, it's holding off. When will it break off and come toward us? Probably in early January or so, or toward the end of the year. So this is the European model. And again, it's the surface temperature anomaly. So what you see is, like this weekend, we're a little bit above normal by a few degrees. And next week, ahead of that storm system, this is Thursday, Wednesday night, we're 5 to 10 degrees warmer than normal. And then as we get to next weekend, December 18th, we start to transition to slightly cooler than normal in us. But look out west. Look at the Rockies. Look at Montana. That is probably 30 degrees colder than normal, which is significant. Usually about 15 degrees colder than normal is when you notice, if you've been around a place and lived here for quite a while, you say, this is colder than it should be. So now we're into, let's go to December 22nd, let's say, and we're running about 8 degrees colder than normal, which at that point, normal highs in southern Michigan about 35, 8 degrees colder, you're looking at highs in the upper 20s. And now we get to go out to about December 24th, and notice the cold pockets still hanging to the west and oozing into our area and just to our east. How does the US model compare to that? Looks very similar. So here's our next week, Wednesday, Thursday, a little bit warmer, 40s. And then by the weekend, it starts to ooze in the cold air. And then look at it in December 20th, it has the cold pocket still out in Montana, like the European. And then as we go to the end of this run, December 25th, Christmas, it's starting to ooze that cold air more toward us, about, I would call it, again, 5 to 10 degrees colder than normal on temperatures. So I guess the story is that next weekend, the colder air will likely start to ooze in, and it's there, and it will ooze in. The question is for the winter, that, you always think about weather moving from west to east. It doesn't always happen that way. Hey, we're building back 212. So what can happen when you get a cold pocket, this could be the pattern for, say, at least the first half of the winter. You get a cold pocket up in the northern Rockies, it can at times move back to the west. Yes, these upper level features can move back to the west, bring the cold pocket back, and then a ridge can develop in the southeast, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, whatnot, and warm them up above normal. And then we go into a southwesterly flow. Storm systems come out of the Pacific to the southwest, head our way. Those are juicy ones. Those are interesting ones. And then what it can do at times is that pocket of cold in the northern Rockies can break off and swing through the eastern U.S. and give us colder than normal conditions for a week or two. And remember, all along, the long range experts are saying that this third year of a La Nina will have a highly variable temperature pattern in the winter. And you say, well, no kidding. Michigan's weather is all over the place. More variable than our normally highly variable weather pattern. What does that mean? That means we could have a week or two where you say, wow, this is quite mild for this time of year. Temperatures say, in the upper 30s to 40s. And then that cold air can collapse and you say, wow, changed a lot. Highs in the teens. So there we have it. Today's little snow, southwest. If you're going to be driving and you want to avoid it, Grand Rapids area, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Lansing, Coldwater, stay off the roads 3 in the afternoon to say 8 in the evening or so. Otherwise, all the rest of us are safe to drive. Saturday night snow. By Sunday morning, the sunshine will take care of that on the roads. Give it an hour or two on Sunday morning. And then we look for a rain heading our way next week. We got it all figured out for you. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrosa. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. Thanks for sharing. I really do appreciate it. You can still share as Facebook archives this. So take care. Have yourselves a great weekend.